What's going on YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forsythe, and we are taking a look at a trade, an actual trade, like a real life trade between the Ottawa Senators and the Carolina Hurricanes. We're going to be taking a look at the trade. Cedric Paquette and Alex Galchenyuk going to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for Ryan Dzingel. We'll be taking a look at that in this video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. And let's take a look at this trade. Alright, we have a trade as the Carolina Hurricanes send Ryan Dzingel back to the Ottawa Senators in exchange for forwards Cedric Paquette and Alex Galchenyuk. Starting things off, we're going to break this trade down very nice and simply. Going to the Carolina Hurricanes is Cedric Paquette, a forward who has 1 goal in 9 games this season with the Ottawa Senators. He was acquired with defenseman Braden Coburn back with the Tampa Bay Lightning trade a little bit after Christmas last year. He was selected in the 4th round of the 2012 NHL Draft. He has scored 86 points, 48 goals in his over 300 games in the NHL. He won the Stanley Cup with Tampa last year. On the other hand, Alex Galchenyuk, another forward who signed a 1-year contract back right after my birthday, right before Halloween, back in late October last year. He has 1 goal in 8 games this season with the Senators. The former 3rd overall pick back in the 2012 draft, Galchenyuk scored 300 points, 136 goals in 557 games over his NHL career, which is now continuing to add up. He spent time in the NHL with the Ottawa Senators, the Minnesota Wild, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Arizona Coyotes, and the team that he was drafted by in the beginning, the Montreal Canadiens. Don Waddell, the general manager of the Hurricanes, said about Cedric Paquette, Cedric is a strong, physical forward who won the Stanley Cup with Tampa last season. We're excited to add both of these players to our forward group. On the other side, what are the Senators getting? Well, a lot of you Sens fans already know because he was there a year or 2 ago. Dzingel is a forward. He has 4 points, 2 goals, and 2 assists in 11 games so far this season with the Canes. He was selected by Ottawa in the 7th round of the 2011 NHL Draft. Dzingel has scored 171 points in his NHL career, 76 goals, 95 assists in over 300 regular season games with the Hurricanes, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the Ottawa Senators. So, who are we going to pick as a winner here? That's a very hard argument to make right now because the problem is, who is the best player in this trade? I would say it's Ryan Dzingel, but it's not that easy. That there's more to it, of course. But what I'm trying to figure out is you have a situation where a team is trying to move out roster space and cap space. We're kind of getting that in both. So the Ottawa Senators are actually moving in more cap, like they're taking more money salary-wise, but you could argue they're getting the best player in the deal. And obviously they like Ryan Dzingel. They've had him before. So that's a good sign there. Let's take a look at trades. Do we have trades? Trade machine. Yeah, of course. Alright, so it's not showing me the trade. But what I'm trying to get to... Okay. So this is something you have to remember. Ryan Dzingel has a bigger contract. He's on the final year of his $6.75 million deal, $3.375 per season. Carolina brings in Cedric Paquette and Alex Galchenyuk. At the end of the day, it's only $675K in terms of actual money saved for Carolina, but that is something. That's something because that's potentially another ELC that can come on the books. And not to mention, now you've added 2 players with that less cap space spent. Both Cedric Paquette and Galchenyuk's deals end at the conclusion of this year. I think this is a good move for both sides. Like I said, Ottawa moves out roster room, which I think we're going to see Ottawa start to change things up. I'm surprised they took a better player. Is this Pierre Dorian kind of making a move like, all right, we need, obviously Eugene Melnyk is kind of down my throat. We have to make a trade here. And Carolina is looking at it as, well, Dzingel is got a pretty high cap hit, and we're trying to move out a little cap space, and we can bring in some nice bottom six pieces into the organization. And they both play center. Guys like Cedric Paquette, who's a very good grit, just a overall tough guy. Coaches usually love him. I think Rod Brendamore would really like a guy like Cedric Paquette. Obviously, Don Waddell, the GM, does as well. Galchenyuk, he's more of a wild card. We've seen him really struggle across the NHL with Minnesota, Arizona, Montreal, wherever he's really been, Pittsburgh. But that name seems to keep coming up because he's a former third overall pick. Now, is this finally where he turns the corner and finally gets things going? It's not going to be easy for him, though. I mean, you've already got guys down the middle like Martin Necas, Sebastian Aho, Vincent Trocheck, Cedric Paquette, who I just talked about. That's already 4 or 5 solid centers in Carolina. So they needed more centers in the bottom 6 in Carolina. They definitely addressed that with bringing in both Paquette and Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk will probably play on the wing, I would assume. And Paquette is a good bottom 6 player, can kill penalties, which I think would help the Carolina Hurricanes. Overall, like I said, this is a trade where we're seeing two teams in different directions. Carolina is looking to make the postseason this year. And right now, with where they're sitting, they are just on the brink. They are in the last playoff spot in the Central Division, but they're going to have some tough competition here very shortly. You've got teams right in that bubble, and then you've also got the Ottawa Senators, who are at the bottom of the NHL overall. They are the worst team by a pretty nice margin. They have only 5 points in 15 games, only 2 wins in this season, 2-12-2 on the season for the Senators. The Carolina Hurricanes are 8-3 on their season, so they obviously see a little bit more upside to this season moving forward. I'm surprised Carolina made the move, but like I said, they bring in 2 roster players for a lesser cap hit, and Carolina, honestly, this is a situation where, Carolina knows that they want to make the playoffs, so they're adding the depth. For the Ottawa Senators, on the other hand, they're bringing in what they feel is a more quality player, a guy they've had in the past that they feel they can potentially get on the score sheet. They obviously need some more help in the top 6, as guys like Galchenyuk, Paquette in the bottom 6 haven't worked. I think Dzingel is a very solid middle 6 forward, and I think he's a good penalty killer as well. So I think this is overall a good trade for everybody. Like I said, none of these guys were really playing all that great, honestly, to start this season. So that is something to keep in mind. You look at where both these teams sit in terms of penalty kill. They're both at the bottom half of the league. Ottawa has a 74.1% penalty kill, 25th in the NHL, and the Carolina Hurricanes are right in the middle of the pack, 16th in the NHL with an 80.5. These are penalty killers, and that's why I bring that up. Now, Dzingel has more scoring upside, but he comes in at a higher cap hit, so that is something to keep in mind. Do I have a winner for this trade? Right now, honestly, I have to go with the argument that who is the best player in the trade, that's the team that usually wins, and that's the Ottawa Senators with Ryan Dzingel, of course, because they pick up, it takes 2 players to acquire that one player. But you also have to remember Carolina saves cap space with 2 players for practically the same amount of cap hit, and the return on Dzingel was not even that high. So there's also a situation where Ottawa's going to have the cap space this summer to re-sign Ryan Dzingel. Carolina will not. If he wants to get maybe $4 million in this next contract on maybe a longer-term deal, Carolina doesn't see him in the long-term deal, so they move him early. And for the Ottawa Senators, they're going to have the cap space this summer. If they want to keep Ryan Dzingel around, they can absolutely do that. And worst case, if these guys don't turn out, by the trade deadline in early April, we can see another trade come to fruition. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of this trade between the Ottawa Senators and the Carolina Hurricanes? Who is the winner? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.